I'm going to take a deep dive into Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B and explain exactly how they work. A lot of people want to know when they're coming into Medicare exactly how it's going to function so that they have a really good idea on how things work. And it's really not complicated when we break it down correctly. So we're going to understand exactly what original Medicare A and B do, how they function, what they cost, all that kind of stuff, and how it works. So I'm Keith Armbrecht, founder of Medicare on Video. I help people across the country make the right Medicare choices. I can absolutely help you as well. I'm licensed in all 50 states. And great thing is, everything that I do, there's no cost to you for it. So hopefully you'll take advantage of all the information I have on Medicare on Video. I have a lot of stuff that will be very helpful to you in whatever situation that you're in. So make sure you visit that and take a look, and it'll just make it easier to get through this Medicare journey. Right now, I'm going to talk about Part A and Part B, which are the kind of pillars of Medicare. It's original Medicare. When you come into Medicare, your number one choice is going to be, do you stay with original Medicare A and B, or do you go on to a Medicare Advantage plan? There are certainly a lot of opinions on that, and I certainly have a strong one. I would personally never go on a Medicare Advantage plan if I had any choice whatsoever. Original Medicare with a supplement just works so well, and it does exactly what you want it to do and gives you all the control for your health care going forward. And that's exactly what I would want with my health insurance, certainly as I get into my 70s and my 80s and hopefully into my 90s and go from there, is to not have to ask for permission for things. So that's exactly what I'm looking to do. But let's talk about original Medicare Part A and Part B. And I don't know why they break it down into different pieces, but they do. And pretty much Part A covers hospital stuff. Part B covers outside of hospital stuff. And they're funded in different places from the government, which really doesn't affect us much, but they do break it down this way. So when we're talking about Part A is what's considered hospital insurance. And what it really covers, pretty much room and board when you're admitted into the hospital. So you have to have a hospital inpatient admission for Part A to kick in. And it's going to cover pretty much the semi-private room, the meals, the TV, the whatever else that's included kind of in room and board in the hospital. And Part A does have a pretty big deductible. And that deductible is per admission, not annual. And that deductible right now is $1,736 per admission. So there's a window of time that it would elapse and then it would reset again. So we certainly wouldn't want that. And that's what a Medicare supplement does. A Medicare supplement, most have covered just about everything under Medicare Part A as an out-of-pocket expense. Part A also has a coinsurance for the room. If you're in there for a period of time, it can get very, very expensive under Medicare Part A. So we would want a Medicare supplement plan, either G or N, even a GHD, that would offset that out-of-pocket expense. And pretty much, like I say, on Part A, covers just about all of it. Part A also has a premium, but most people don't pay the premium. As long as you have worked 40 quarters or 10 years and you've paid into Medicare tax all this time, you've seen that on your paycheck, that's what you've been doing, is covering the cost of your Medicare Part A. So it can be pretty expensive if you have not worked, but I have other videos on that. We won't talk about that because certainly the vast majority of us do not pay anything for our Medicare Part A. So that gives you kind of an idea on how A works. It's hospital stuff, inpatient, room and board, but really it doesn't matter if we have a supplement plan. We don't even worry about Medicare Part A because it's not going to play a part in things that we do. So let's move on to Medicare Part B. Medicare Part B, much broader and covers a whole lot more things, and pretty much your daily medical expenses, that whether they are doctor's visits, specialist visits, outpatient care, outpatient surgery, home health care, things of that nature all fall under Medicare Part B. Now, Medicare Part B does have a premium that most of us do pay. And right now it's going to $202.90 in 2026. So that's what the premium will be for most people. And unlike A, where most people means if you're not in it, then you may not pay, Medicare Part B is income adjusted on the premium. So you'll certainly want to watch my video on Medicare IRMAA, which is the monthly adjustment amount for Medicare Part B. That 202 can get up in the 600s if you still have a reasonable income. It's not even a crazy income, just a reasonable income can notch that 202 up pretty quickly. So make sure you understand that coming in, that 202 is the baseline on Medicare Part B premium. You're going to pay that no matter whether you choose Medicare Advantage or whether you stay with original Medicare. Part B premium will always be there. And again, it can go up much higher if you're still having modified adjusted gross income. And that can change by selling a house or having rental income or all sorts of different things. So that's exactly what we need to understand coming in. So Part B is going to cover all your regular kind of stuff, MRIs, CTs, CAT scans, emergency room, chemotherapy, durable medical equipment, pretty much outside of room and board. And it runs with a deductible. And right now, the deductible for Medicare Part B going into 2026 is going to be $288, which, it's more than it was in 2025, but it's not so bad. It is annual, so it's not per occurrence. It is one time per year. So it's not a crazy deductible, but still, it's an out-of-pocket expense. And then Medicare Part B is going to shift to 80-20 of all the stuff that you have done, where they're going to pay 80% and you're going to be responsible for 20%. That is also where you will want to have a supplement, because that 20% under Medicare Part B does not have any stop to it, meaning if you were in a catastrophic situation, it could get up in the millions of dollars without really having any issue whatsoever. So we want to cover and limit that out-of-pocket exposure, and that would be with either a Medicare Supplement Plan G, a Plan N, even a GHD will do that, depending upon where you are and the cost of each. And where I like to be is trying to get in the neighborhood of $100 a month for our Medicare supplement plan, regardless which one it is. And, it just makes a lot of sense. And there's not a huge difference between them. G is best, N is good, GHD is pretty good too. So it just kind of works on where you're located and what the costs are in your zip code. So that's exactly what we do. We help make sure we get the best value. So make sure you visit MedicareOnVideo.com, fill out the form on my website, and we will email you a quote for each of the plans. So you'll know exactly what the cost is, and then we can help you figure it out. We do the enrollment for you, make it super simple. And again, there's no cost to you to let us do that. So it just makes it easy for everybody to come in and get it done really the way that it should be done. We get all the pieces put in the right places. So things you need to know about coming into Medicare, your enrollment times. Most people are coming in at age 65. If you're going to come in at age 65, do it early. The earlier you do it, you can start 3 months ahead of time. Start at least 2 months ahead of time and just get it done, get it put to bed, lock it in. You'll know the date you're going to start. You're going to start on the first of the month that you turn age 65. Or if you're born on the first of the month, you'll actually start the first of the previous month. That really trips people up a lot. So if you're born on the first of the month, you need to do it super early. And then if you're going to continue to work, that's okay too. And as long as you're staying on your employer group plan, you do not want to sign up for Medicare Part B if you're going to stay on your employer group plan and your employer has 20 or more employees. That's another crazy rule in Medicare, that it applies to employers with 20 or more employees. So if that's you, do not sign up for Part B, because that Part B later, when you sign up, will be your trigger coming into Medicare. It gives you all the kind of benefits of turning 65, even though you might be 73 or even later than that. It gives you guaranteed issue stuff. So you can pick whatever plan you want without any medical questions, things like that. I've seen people that are still working on their employer plan that have already started Part B. Number one, you're paying for it and you don't get any benefit from it whatsoever, so it's a complete waste of money. And then two, it really messes up your window when you're ready to come into Medicare. You can give us a call. We'll walk you right through all that and just make sure that we do it in the best possible way so that you don't have any issues down the road. So that's exactly where we want to be, and that's how we will look to set things up. So visit MedicareOnVideo.com, fill out the form, we'll send you a quote, give us a call. We're happy to talk about it with you. We're happy to just make sure that we get everything so we don't have to think about it again. Nobody wants to think about health insurance when they get into their 70s and 80s and beyond. We just want it to be there and we want it to work. So I hope you found this helpful. We're happy to walk through things with you. Hope you have a fantastic day.